What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and my hardcore Mystic only playthrough. So we are here on hard, the Forest Crossroads, and this one, as we know, is all about the flyers, without a doubt. It says watch out for exploding kobolds. It's all about the flyers, just is. So what we're going to do is going to try to build up this way a little bit on both of these lanes, and then maybe split this lane here, and then I want to have some last resort in the back. The last resort, of course, is gonna help me out against those flyers. So let's see what we can do here. I want to make sure I'm getting the walls covered too. So let's go like that. Over here we'll go something like that. I feel like that's pretty decent. And then maybe throw, do we want a few serpent's coils up front too? Let's throw a few serpent's coils up front. Now those guys no doubt will take a little bit of heat from any enemies that come in, but hopefully it's going to be able to get the job done. Let's see. Let's do the same thing here. We'll throw a wall there, and then we'll throw a few vipers like this. We'll throw a few of our serpent's coils right up front, something like that. And then over here, now, where do we want to actually choke them off here? We can do it right here. Can actually put this wall kind of slightly behind, maybe. We'll do that. And then throw some snakes up top here. And then we'll throw some serpent's coils over on this side. Now, I want to make sure, like I said, I want to make sure I'm leaving myself a little bit of flyer protection. We also have the obelisk unlocked now, too. An obelisk is never a bad idea, so let's throw an obelisk down in the middle. And then, I guess, let's just go like this for flyers. We'll put one that way. We're not really able to get the coverage that I was hoping for. Something like that. And then we'll get some serpent's coils out there too. I'm not sure on this one, y'all. This is looking quite sketch. Let's see how it goes here for the first wave. Once we get enough defender medals to get that first shard, life is definitely going to become much better here. But we're just right, you know, most of our towers are right outside of ranged enemy range. Really need to keep an eye out for these flyers too. A little late on the call to madness there, but time to focus mainly on our ranged attack for these flyers, and yeah, it's just 100% all about the flyers. Alright, looks like we made it through. So let's just try to get even upgrades on everything. I think we can fit one more serpent's coil over here as well. Let's see what we can do here. Something like that. Let's get another upgrade on that obelisk. We got enough left. We got enough for one more upgrade. Let's just slap it there. All right, and once again, let's just rinse and repeat. This one, there's going to be, it's just going to be sketchy all the way through, I think. Now, luckily, we also, you know, our little dagger throw will very likely take out most of the flyers, I think, with one tap. Let's see how it's going here, though. Just going to keep an eye out for him coming in. And then, of course, if we get anything too dangerously close, I'll kind of sacrifice myself if I have to save the core. One more this way, and then we got this group. Wrong button there on the call to madness, but that's alright. Alright, we made it through. Not pretty. Definitely not pretty, but we are getting the job done. Let's get some repairs in and get the rest of this stuff upgraded. Did we get everything there? We got everything there. I don't think we got everything over here. No. Just get some upgrades thrown around. Get some upgrades on the last resort stuff too. A little extra on that that obelisk. All right, continue to let it fly here. The Dark Torment is definitely going to play in quite nicely on this one. It's a lot of damage. And it's a bunch of poison damage as well. So when we throw that dagger, it's, you know, it's very likely to one-tap most of the flyers. Here comes our first one peeking out here. And then when that bubble pops around me, that, of course, is a buff from the obelisk, which is only going to help things out. That bubble from the obelisk is a pretty fat hero boost, so every time I get that, it should make burning out any flyers in that lane a little bit easier. And there we go. Now we took, our wall is getting brutalized up here because we don't have the range to get these javelin throwers. Grab a little more juice here and see if we can't just dagger them down. Alright, let's go ahead and throw one more upgrade on that. Alright, just a couple more upgrades here on the last resort. Let's let it fly again. Being able to use the arcane barrier, if that was the one hero that that we were using for this one, would make life so much easier. Not having the EV in the mix, that is for sure. But once we get a little bit more, range, get some deadly strikes going, it's going to make dealing with these guys much more tolerable. Let those guys beat each other up a little. Alright, we got that side cleared out. Let's get these guys next. I think we're good there. If I ignore these flyers, even with all that last resort in, just for one wave, it will likely be the end. Once again, javelin throwers in the back, being fussy. All right, there we go. Definitely, like I said, definitely a little bit sketchier. Just kind of spam some upgrades around for this final wave here. Drop a repair on this wall as well. And just need to rinse and repeat. Try to get the javelin throwers down, but I don't want to, you know, I need to make sure I'm not ignoring the flyers. Still got a nice flyer push coming in on two of the sides here. We'll get this side cleared out first. I don't even have a relic on my obelisk, I don't believe. I'm sure we'll find something laying on the ground for this run. Alright, and we should just have the javelin throwers left. Alright, and there we go. Definitely got beat up a little bit, without question. This is, as I mentioned throughout, this is something that we will overcome just with getting some shards. So as we start getting some usable shards, we'll definitely be able to overcome all of these issues we're having here now. Betsy rolling in and doing her business. Into the Life-Root Forest we go. But before we get to that point, let's hop out of here, see what shard we got, and see what kind of loot we got as well. Alright, let's check out the loot. We got 2 shards on that one. We got a worm scarf, which that is a usable shard. And we got concussive shock, which sadly that is not a usable shard. We got a few upgrades here. That fiery fangs. I think we're just going to throw that right onto our wall there. It's a nice fat gain for a wall. A little bit more ability power. Or explosion is not going to do much for me there. It looks like we're getting a bunch of ability power pieces. Well, that's a hero health piece. I think I'll just stick with what I've got. What about on the helmet? Hero damage. And then, what? We can throw that, say, on the obelisk, so we have something there. And I guess we can throw that one onto our serpent's coil. You know what? Let's actually switch these. Let's leave that lower power earth one on the serpent's coil, and we'll go with this one on the sand viper. So I think that will be that'll be a good start to get me going into the next map. But that will do it for this one. So thanks a ton for watching. We're at 728 Defender medals now. Of course, we got that daily login reward Defender medal, which is quite nice. We got a Chaos 3 shard pack up next tomorrow. Hopefully, we get something useful out of that bad boy. But thanks an absolute ton for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon.